I get to tell you today, boys and girls, about another one of God's creatures. Oh, we have even been singing about this one. Look right here. What kind of animal is this?
Sheep.
Sheep, that's right, or a lamb. Say that. Lamb. Oh, I'm excited to tell you about the lamb. I have gone to a farm before, and I have gotten to watch how they take care of the lambs. Do you know that when you have a blanket or a sweater, sometimes it is made from the wool of a lamb? Their hair on their bodies is called wool. Say that with me. Wool. Sometimes it's really soft and it's kind of curly, and sometimes it's rough and not so soft. But the way that they do it is so neat. How many of you boys have gone to the barber shop? Show me. Oh, to get a haircut. Yes. And sometimes they use a scissors. They use scissors, don't they? And then sometimes they use something called a shear. They go like this. Have you ever had that done to your hair? Or maybe you've watched Daddy get his haircut and they use that and they go and the hair just falls off. Well, that's what they use on the sheep. They take the sheep and they put them up on like a platform. And then they put something around their neck to keep them very still. And then they start on the top of their heads. And just like you get a haircut, they get a haircut. And they start on the top of their heads and they go, and all of that hair just starts, that wool just starts falling off. And they do it all over their whole body. And when they're done, they don't have any hair left. It's all gone. And they take it and they put it in a big barrel. And then they take it and they sometimes have to take brushes, and they take the brushes and they brush the hair just like you brush your hair, and they brush it and they get all the sticks and the grass, because you know lambs, they like to lay in the grass and roll around, and they get sticks and grass and all kinds of stuff in their hair, and the brushes help to get all that stuff out. And they take the clean hair, the clean wool, and they use it and they spin it sometimes to make something called yarn. What is it called? Yarn, or like string. And that's how they make things like the blanket that you use. Maybe you have a favorite blanket that's made out of the wool that they use that comes from the sheep or the lamb. Isn't that neat that they use that? That's what they use it for. And it's so fun to watch when you get to watch the farmer do that, and they shear them. That's what it's called. It's called shear them. What is it called? Shear them. To shear means to get all that wool off of the lamb, and then they take it. Now, when you see lambs, you're going to see them. They're either white or they're black. What colors are they? White or black. Now, I have seen them sometimes when they're a little bit brown too, but usually you're going to see them, they're white or they're black. When the black ones get really, really old, their hair turns white. Kind of like your grandma and your grandpa. When they were young, they had black hair or they had brown hair, and then when they got old, their hair turns white, doesn't it? Remember how when we talked about Abraham and Sarah and they got old and they looked like a grandma and a grandpa? Well, they had white hair, didn't they? Well, that's what happens to a black sheep. When the black sheep gets old, it turns white. And sometimes the white sheep, when they get old, it starts to get a little bit gray. But your blankets aren't always white, are they? No, sometimes they're blue or pink or purple. And what they do is they take that wool or in that yarn and they put coloring in it. It's called dye. What is it? Dye. It's called dye. So that because when my sweater wasn't purple before, they had to put dye in it to make it this color purple. Or if your blanket's pink or purple, or boys, if yours is blue or green or yellow, they had to put dye in. Because are sheep born purple or blue or green? No, they're not, are they? They're born either white or black. And then they take them and they put that coloring in it, and that's how we get the different colors in our clothes and our blankets and different things that they make with the sheep, the wool from the sheep. Now, let me tell you about this one. This one right here, this is a mommy lamb. This is a mommy lamb, and it's called a ewe. What is it called? A ewe. A ewe. Isn't that funny? It's called a ewe. But mommy lambs are called a ewe. And the daddy lamb, it's called a ram. Say that with me. A ram. And you know it's the daddy, because you know how the lion daddy, how he has that big mane around him? Well, you can tell the daddy, the boy sheep, because they're the rams, because they have these big horn things that come out of their head and they kind of curl up like this around their heads. And those are the rams. What are they called? Rams. And the rams are the daddy sheep. So who are the daddy sheep? The rams, that's right. And the mommy sheeps are called the what? The ewes. That's right, the ewes. Isn't that funny? They're called the ewes. And then we have the little baby lambs. And the baby lambs are so fun. And when they're first born, they're really wobbly on their legs because they can't stand up. But you know in our song how we sing about Mary had a little lamb? And what did the lamb do? It what? It followed her to school, doesn't it? Lambs do that. If you're on a farm and you go and you pet a little lamb, and if you're in there in the pen or in the barn with a lamb, do you know that lamb will follow you all around? Because baby lambs like to do that. They just follow you around. So you'll be walking around and it'll just follow you. It would if you walked around in a circle. That lamb would follow you in a circle, because lambs like to stay really close to their mommies. Or if you're playing with it, it will stay really close to you and it will follow you all around the farm, because they do. They like to stay really, really close to you. Isn't it fun to learn about God's creations? I love learning about the lambs. Now, lambs, they follow us, don't they? And who takes care of a lamb? A farmer or a... What was David? He was a shepherd. But you know what? It reminds me of Jesus. Jesus is the good shepherd, and he loves us so much. And do you know that? I'm so glad. Do you know that when I was 4 years old, I asked Jesus to be my Savior? I did. I asked Jesus to be my Savior, and now he is my shepherd, and I'm like one of his little lambs. And I'm glad that he is my good shepherd. And he can be your good shepherd too, if you ask Jesus to be your Savior. And he's going to take care of you just like the shepherd takes care of the sheep. The farmer or the shepherd, he uses one of those shepherd staffs that we talked about, that big thing that looks like a big candy cane. He uses that hook to hook that sheep in, because you know what? Even if that sheep would go down and drink the water and he would get way down into that water, do you know that that wool is like a sponge? And that wool would just soak up all that water, and then that sheep would get down, sucked down into that water. So that's why he has to use that shepherd staff to pull him up, because sheep, they don't really think really well. They don't have brains like people have brains. And so the shepherd or the farmer really have to really watch those sheep and take care of those sheep. And they're going to watch closely, and they're going to take care of the sheep just like Jesus does. He watches closely, and he takes care of us every day. He loves us, boys and girls, and he's going to take care of us just like the shepherd takes care of those sheep. Oh, I love learning about God's creation. What is the mommy lamb called?
A ewe.
A ewe. What is the daddy lamb called?
A ram.
A ram. Good job. I'm glad you remember that. A ram. And what is it called that's all over their body? The hair is called what? Wool. That's right. It's called the wool. And when they take that thing that's like at the barber shop and they take all that wool off, what's it called? They're doing what to it?
Cutting his hair.
Well, they're cutting its hair, but it's called shearing. What's it called?
Shearing.
Shearing. It's called shearing. Isn't it fun to learn about the different animals and how they are taken care of and what we can use from the animals? Isn't it neat how God gave us the lamb so that we can use their hair from that lamb? That's neat, that we can have blankets and fun things from them. It's neat to learn about God's creation. I love it. It's so fun. Class, stand. Let's sing about Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rules. Sit down and let's say our verse about Psalms 23:1. Are you ready? Psalm 23:1. The Lord is my shepherd. Psalm 23:1. So the next time you see a sheep or you're looking in a book and you see a sheep, you can think about God and how he is the good shepherd and he loves you and he's taking good care of you.